Hey everyone, I'm Armor Gaming. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Monster Analysis. Up for analysis today is Ragnael. Ragnael used to live in the underworld, but when he helped the good legions capture rabies and other sinners, he was banished. However, the good legions didn't forget his help and welcomed him as one of their own. Now he stands at the gates of heaven next to Ermysenigma. And so here we have Ragnael, the newest and latest legendary light monster, and I gotta say I am really liking this monster design. And as of the time recording this analysis, there's a total of 26 light legendary monsters, so I'm going to be comparing Ragnael to those monsters. And Ragnael, by the way, is in 3 different books, currently that is. First of all, he's in the Winged book, which consists of 19 legendary monsters, and he's also in the Underworld book, which consists of 34 legendary monsters, and lastly, he's in the Good Legions book, which consists of 56 legendary monsters. So he has quite a bit of competition, and it's going to be up to you guys to decide how good is he compared to all of these monsters. And so first things first, Ragnael has a power stat of 3,432, which puts him in 8th place along with monsters like Lao Lao, Incognita, and Obsidian. However, the power stat itself, 3432, is actually the 4th highest power stat for light legendary monsters, so it's a pretty good power stat. As for his life, it's 29,255, which when talking about light legendary monster puts him in 11th place along with monsters like Lux and Ogma. However, the stat itself is in 7th place. And then we have a speed of 3,454, which puts him in 6th place along with monsters like Lux, Ogma, and Incognita, and the stat itself, not that much of a difference, it's in 5th place. So by no means is there anything phenomenal about the stats on this monster, but they're still pretty good. But unfortunately, he has a max GPM of 155 gold per minute. But as for his trait, he has Celestial, he's immune to stun, Mega Stun, and bleeding. In the light category, this really helps against Monkey, who has Mega Stun, and then there's also quite a few light monsters that can stun you. As for bleeding, I don't think any light monster can make you bleed, but then again, you are in the Winged book, you are in the Good Legions book, and you are in the Underworld book. So it's a pretty good trait to have overall, but when talking about light monsters, you are susceptible to being blinded and dazed. So just in terms of being a light monster specifically, you can argue how good this trait is, whether it's good or not so good. However, just in the grand scheme of things, I think it's great. I think that introducing new traits, especially traits that have immunities to those obscure deny skills like Mega Stun, like Hack, like Glitch, I think that's a great thing. And so with that said, let's move on over to his ultimate attack, Angelic Conversion. Deals very heavy special damage to all enemies, applies possession to all enemies. And what the heck, this is definitely worthy of being called an ultimate attack. First of all, it's special based, and it deals 60 special based damage, and after dealing all of that damage, what does Ragnael do? He possesses the enemy team. So not only do you just like almost obliterate them, now you take control of them so they can obliterate themselves. It's awesome, it's fantastic. Ragnael is an attacker, but he also has a deny for his ultimate that also deals massive damage. I love this, it's an amazing ultimate attack. As for his skills group 1, there's nothing worth mentioning, so on to skills group 2 we go. Divine Flash. Deals massive light damage to one enemy, applies blind to one enemy. Take a look at this skill, 65 damage, light based damage that is, 28 stamina cost, no cooldown, and it blinds the enemy monster. If the enemy monster happens to survive after getting hit with Divine Flash, they're going to be blinded. And this skill is spammable. Ragnael, you know what, let me just show you all of skills group 2. Repentance, Demon Smite, they all have no cooldown. This monster laughs at monsters that have cooldowns activated skills, because it does nothing to him. Seriously, it does absolutely nothing to him. You can be facing a Montezuma, a Timeron, they can do cooldowns activated, and you're just going to be like, okay then, Divine Flash, you're dead. It's seriously incredible. Next up he has Repentance, deals very heavy special damage to one enemy, applies negative status effects to one enemy, 55 damage, special base, 25 stamina cost, no cooldown. This skill may come in handy in certain situations. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you land that immobilizing you need to, sometimes you drain that stamina, and there's definitely quite a few people out there that love random negative effects, but I think personally for Ragnael, I don't think this skill is needed. So let's take a look at the next skill, Demon Smite. Deals very heavy special damage to one enemy, applies damage reduction to one enemy. So 60 damage, 28 stamina, no cooldown, and this time you give damage reduction for 2 turns, which reduces the enemy's damage output by 25%. So when taking a look at Demon Smite and Repentance, there's only a 5 damage difference and a 3 stamina cost difference, so maybe that could be an argument for actually running Repentance, because you know when looking at the negative effects, maybe you do land the stun to immobilize, the possession, the freeze, the rebooted, or maybe you land some sort of DOT like bleeding, or burning, or something that'll make it more powerful than Demon Smite. Because how big of a difference is that 5 damage output? It's probably not that significant. You do get a guaranteed damage reduction, whereas again, like maybe you like to gamble, so this might come down to player preference. 55 damage with 1 random negative effect, no cooldown and only a 25 stamina cost, or 60 damage, guaranteed damage reduction, 28 stamina cost, no cooldown. Choice is ultimately up to you. But now let's move on over to skills group 3, Blessed Light. Deals heavy light damage to all enemies, applies blind to all enemies, attacker removes positive status effects from all enemies, requires cooldown. This skill deals 45 light based damage, it costs 34 stamina, has a 2-turn cooldown, it's an AoE blind, and an AoE remove good effects. AoE remove good effects is like one of the best things to ever happen in the game. You can remove stuff like shields, like life regeneration, like stamina regeneration, like any sort of buff, any sort of increased accuracy. And more importantly, and probably more significantly, you can remove evasion. For those of you that aren't familiar with evasion, when a monster has evasion on them, you can't apply any DLTs, any deny effects, you basically can't apply any effects in general. Evasion makes it so they're immune to all negative effects and to all damage, so it's like an increased space time. So having a skill that can remove good effects is especially crucial to your gameplay. Now what I don't know is if a monster did have evasion, would you remove evasion and then the monster would get blinded? Or will the monster be protected from blind but just get rid of evasion? That I'm not sure about, but nonetheless, you definitely have to run Blessed Light. It's a soft deny while also removing any sort of positive effect the enemy may have. It is a great skill. Consecrated Grounds is the next skill. This skill deals moderate special damage to all enemies and it applies a negative status effect to all enemies. It requires a cooldown. So it's a special based attack that deals 30 damage, costs 28 stamina, it only has a 1-turn cooldown, and all of the enemy monsters get 1 random negative effect. Personally, I'm not going to be recommending this skill. In the past, I think I would have, but I just don't like it for this monster. Especially because he has another AoE which I'm going to be recommending, and there's no way I'm going to recommend 3 AoEs on a monster. That's just ridiculous. And so once again, if you like to gamble, if you like the riskiness of random negative effects, go ahead and run it. That's up to you. It's player discretion, but I really just can't recommend it. So lastly, we have Demonic Cleanse. Deals moderate special damage to all enemies, applies damage reduction to all enemies, attacker removes positive status effects from all enemies, requires cooldown. So special based 40 damage AoE, 37 stamina, 1-turn cooldown, and I don't know why, but I just don't feel like this is gonna stay at a 1-turn cooldown. This skill does too much, 40 special based damage reduction, so the enemy deals less damage against you, and you remove good effects. And like I said, this is so powerful, especially because if you run both these AoEs, which you should, if the enemy gives themselves some sort of buff, Demonic Cleanse gets rid of it. On the next turn they buff themselves again, then Blessed Light will get rid of it. And if they somehow manage to buff themselves, give themselves some sort of shield or whatever, then Demonic Cleanse can get rid of it. So for like 3 turns in a row, the enemy can't have any buff on themselves. That is crazy good. No shields, no double life, no evasion, no space time, no double damage, no increased accuracy. And on top of that, they're going to have damage reduction and blind. And so overall, even though this light monster may not have the highest life, thanks to the damage reduction and to the blind, and to the fact that the enemies won't have any sort of buff, it's going to be extremely hard to kill Ragnael and his team. So my recommended skill set is to run Demonic Cleanse, Blessed Light, Divine Flash, and then one of these 2 skills from skills group 2, either Repentance or Demon Smite. I think originally I was going to recommend Demon Smite, but now I might actually just go for Repentance, just because that 5 damage, it's not that big of a difference, and I do like to gamble sometimes. I do like those random negative effects. So again, it's going to be Repentance, Divine Flash, Blessed Light, and Demonic Cleanse. And I truly believe that's the best skill set on this monster. For runes, Ragnael is an attacker, so you're going to go 2 strength runes and a speed rune, or 2 strength runes and a team speed, although I am really gravitating more towards the 2 strength and a speed, just because if one of the enemy monster goes before you and they apply shields or buffs or something, you really want to get rid of it. And actually, I might even say 2 speed and a strength. I guess it would just really depend on the turn order. If you were to give this monster 2 speed and a strength, there's no way he's going to be taking out anyone in 1 turn, because he's not going to be able to deal enough damage. However, you'll still be able to soft deny with the AoE blind, but then again, if you have a main denier who denies the enemy team, then you might not need to soft deny until the end. So yeah, I think I'm going to stick with the original 2 strength and a speed or a team speed, and that's truly your best way to go with Ragnael. And with that being said, that is going to conclude my analysis on Ragnael. I think this monster is a little more straightforward than the other ones. Overall, I really like him. I think he's a great addition to the light legendary monsters, but that's just my opinion. Now I want to hear from all of you guys. What do you guys think about this monster? How do you think he compares to other light monsters, to the winged monsters, to the good legion monsters, and to the underworld monsters? Do you think he stands a chance in any of those books? Please let me know in the comments below. I really look forward to hearing your guys' thoughts. With that being said, best of luck to all of you on your Monster Legends adventures, and like always, remember to dream big and pursue your passions.